Hi folks, this is Nathan Carter and you're listening to Howard Myers on Irish Country Music Radio.
You're very welcome to Irish Country Music Radio on this Wednesday night, coming to you live from wild and windy Dublin. That was Barry Devlin with his version of the Mick Hanley song, Past the Point of Rescue, made most famous, of course, by Hal Ketchum back in 1992. Barry Devlin is the contestant on TG Carr's Glór Tíre, which is on air in around about 15 minutes' time on TG Carr. 10:30 the show starts. Himself and mentor Johnny Brady. And I'm delighted to say that we have Barry on the phone right now. Barry, how are you tonight?
Hello Howard, how are you? I'm great.
Good stuff. Is it wild and windy up in County Tyrone this Wednesday evening?
It definitely is now, I must say. We have a few people out in Mulligan's now supporting me. Just we're going to watch the show and have a bit of music, but it's great to see them all out, especially with the weather so bad.
Yeah, you're down in Mulligan's tonight, a bit of crackdown in Cookstown, of course. You're from Stewartstown, which is just outside.
Yeah, about 7 miles from Cookstown, so we decided to get together just and get a few friends and family out and a bit of music and food and watch the show.
A Glór Tíre party in Cookstown tonight. Now, Barry, I'm going to take you back a couple of years. Well, actually, I'm going to take you back the best part of 1,200 years. It's a surprise for you because, of course, the Devlin is very much a County Tyrone name. The Devlins came from the north of Tyrone originally, somewhere in between Lough Neagh and Ballinderry River. They were descended from the Devlin, who's a royal noble, and Devlin means raging valour. And I would suggest to you that to get on stage at Glór Tíre, to get on stage at any time to perform in front of an audience, takes a lot of courage, and you've obviously got the courage down through the bloodlines. How are you feeling right now?
A bit nervous, but I'm excited now to watch the show. I was really happy on the night, but obviously, seeing it back and seeing what faces you've pulled and all will be new to me, and hearing what the judges have to say, but I'm definitely excited now, I must say.
But you're no stranger, of course, to the stage. You've performed for a number of years now in a two-piece, Bits and Pieces, along with your father, Gerard. So I'm assuming that you'd got your love of music from your father originally.
Oh, I definitely did. When I was growing up, Dad would have been playing in bands all his life, maybe from he was 15 years of age. He actually used to play bass and guitar with Brian Call for a year or two, which is probably one of his big claim to fame. He just left before Declan and Ernie joined. So it's funny how things work out, Dad ended up joining a two-piece band, which was more or less live, a pre-programmed drum machine, but I would have went out to hear them whenever I got to the age of maybe 15 or so, and he would have been able to take me maybe to the pubs and all, and I would have just sat in the corner listening to them. But I'd always had a love for country, really into American country, and Dad, he would have played a lot of guitar licks and stuff that I would have, I would always have been fascinated with him, thinking he was amazing, and just made you want to check more people out and see it all the more, and listen to the different artists, and it was great,
So when did you decide with your dad to take to the road as Bits and Pieces?
I was 16 going on 17 and wanted to learn the drums. I was fascinated as well by watching people playing the drums, and I took this in my head as what I wanted to do. So I started to learn the drums, and I used to sing along with tracks of my dad's while I was practicing the drums, and he overheard me doing it, but I was very shy at the time, and I would have stopped if he came out and he said to me, "Look, do you know many songs?" And I would have said, "Well, I know maybe 10 or 12, and he took me out along with him, and the rest is history. We just kept plugging away and trying to better ourselves, and I'm here.
And now you're one of the busiest two pieces in the north of Ireland. You're resident in Macalears in Dungannon. It's every Sunday night.
Right. We're resident in Macalears in Dungannon most recently, but we're also resident at in Cookstown 7 to 9 on a Sunday as well in the Glenavon Hotel.
The Glenavon Hotel and Macalears you're resident in on a Sunday night. And of course you're very popular for weddings and parties and just for general social dancing.
That's right. Things have been going really well. I think it's, a lot of people fall for the fact that we're a father and son duo. People think it's adorable. I don't really know how else to put it, but, people be fascinated by that. And maybe just the fact that Daddy can cater right up the older generation, while I can do a bit of the modern stuff as well as the country and all. So we try and cater for all ages, and we've done nightclubs, but we've also done 80th birthday parties, if you understand. We try and be very versatile, and I think that's what's working for us.
So Dad must be very proud of his son tonight, appearing on Glór Tíre on TG Car, of course, 10:30 with Johnny Brady. And I believe you met him at a gig just last November. We got chatting to his sound guy about Glór Tíre.
I've known him for a few years, but that's how it came across that I got asked to do the show. I used to go hear Johnny whenever he started out, but more so when I was at university. I would have heard him doing the likes of what I do in the wedding scene, the pub scene. He was playing in a pub in Belfast, and I was down with my friends. I got to know him through another friend of mine, Tomas Carr, who's in a band as well called Atmosphere. We used to go hear Johnny then whenever he started out in the country scene, as much as we could get to him, when we weren't gigging ourselves, and he just became a good friend, Then last November when I went to hear him in Oma, his manager, sound man as well, he just said to me, Johnny wants to ask you something, and that's what it was, so I was totally overwhelmed. I was shocked that anybody even believed I was capable of such a thing.
Yeah, it's a fantastic showcase, opportunity for yourself to appear on national television here in Ireland, and I'm assuming you're looking to springboard your career a little bit further forward. Where do you see yourself maybe in 2 or 3 years' time?
Well, I'm quite a pessimistic person, so I'd never say I see, but ideally, if everything went to plan and things worked out, I would love to be on the scene the way Johnny is, He's doing so well and growing from strength to strength, and I would love, that opportunity to try that. I suppose it just maybe takes a few strokes of luck.
Well, certainly with the talent you have, with the voice you have, with obviously the backing of Johnny Brady, and now the exposure on Glór Tíre, you've taken some huge steps forward over the past few months, and tonight is another of those huge steps. What are you going to be performing for us tonight on TG Car?
Tonight I'm going to be doing a song by a man called Brad Paisley, who I'm a massive fan of. He'd be an idol as such. A song called The World. It's probably like a developed version of a country jazz, a lot of guitar work in it, which wouldn't really be as Irishy, but it seems to be working on the scene, because I know Johnny gigs the song as well, and I've done it with his band a few times now, and it seems to go down really well. It's a great song, especially for the ladies. Doing that, and then we're doing a duet, Zach Brown Band and Alan Jackson duet called As She's Walking Away, which I recently recorded with my dad, actually. We done a video in McAlear's Bar in Dungannon for it, and it's on YouTube, so if anybody wants to check it out. But I'm getting to duet with Johnny and the band, and it's a great experience to get to do it with different people, on a full live band as opposed to the backing track. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it,
And we're looking forward to seeing you tonight. The very best of luck on TG Car, on Glór Tíre, and the level of competition this year, I'm sure you've already noticed, is very, very high. That's one thing that's really stood out this year. Some fantastic contestants in the first 5 weeks, and I know there's more to come, but the best of luck to yourself for tonight. If our listeners want to find out more about Barry Devlin and Bits and Pieces, you have a website.
It's bitsandpiecesband.com. You can also find me on Twitter. It's Barry Devlin 06, or on Facebook, Barry Devlin, or the Bits and Pieces Band Facebook. You can find me through it.
So it's Bits and Pieces on Facebook, Bits and Pieces on the website. And of course, if you're ever up in Cookstown on a Sunday night, then the two residences that Bits and Pieces are in, that's Barry with his dad, Jared.
Oh, sorry, the Glenavon Hotel on a Sunday from 7 to 9, and McAleer's Bar in Dungannon from 2012.
We're going to play out with your latest single, just been released, You're Still On My Mind. Where did you find this one, Barry, and why did you decide to record this particular number?
Well, it's actually an original song I wrote myself, you know, just from a past experience. I think I wrote it maybe about 10, 11 months ago, and only got around to recording it recently, but I just went into the studio, and all I had was an acoustic guitar and sang it into the recording, and I just asked the boy in the studio, he's an amazing musician, Paul McNeely, to more or less tear it apart and make it better, because I knew his imagination would run wild. He's fantastic. So he changed the intro a wee bit, just different chord progression for the intro, but he kept it basically my own progression, and then he just sort of helped me with ideas of maybe changing phrasing and stuff, and just wee simple things, as well as the harmonies. And instead of maybe fiddle and stuff, we used cellos and different instruments just to try and make it a wee bit different. But I'm really, really happy with how it turned out.
That's a great story indeed. Barry Devlin, singer, songwriter, musician, all-round nice guy. We wish you the very best of luck on Glór Tíre tonight on TG Car. Thank you for taking the time out to join us here tonight on Irish Country Music Radio.
That's great. Thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate that.
I watched you walk away, not knowing what to do or say, said sit alone and think of times we had.